In today's Leeds news, Kai Wagner link returns, Premier League interest in Gray, and Larry Nance speaks on fans and Takeover. Hiya folks, Jer here on the 26th of September with your Leeds United news. Before we get into it, just a couple of bits to update everyone on. Hopefully some good news, and I'm saying hopefully because it's not done just yet, but hopefully we'll be interviewing Michael Skubala tonight for the channel to give everyone an insight into the timelines on that. Plan is to do the interview this evening with Leeds. All things going well. Everything's been approved. Just need to wait to see if it actually happens. The interview will be made available to members tonight as soon as I get it edited and put up, and it will be available on the channel first thing tomorrow morning for everyone. There won't be a news video tomorrow morning because my job are sending me out of the country again, so I'm off to Poland tomorrow morning, so the interview will go up instead of the news tomorrow morning. I will try and get a video out Thursday and Friday before I come back as well. I'm there till the end of the week, but yeah, I'll hopefully get that done as well. I have questions set up for him. Fingers crossed it all goes well. As I said, we'll know more at 5 o'clock this evening. But keep an eye on the community tab or on Twitter. I'll update people on that as well as and when it happens. And we just screamed past 18,000 subscribers yesterday out of nowhere, which is mad. The last couple of weeks' growth has been incredible and confusing. Because the views haven't gone up, but the subscriber count has. But it's great. So I really appreciate that. Thanks to everyone that's supporting the channel. And we'll crack on and we'll get into this. There's not an awful lot today to get into. So we'll start off with a name that we will remember very well from last season. And the link between Leeds United and Kai Wagner of the Philadelphia Union has re-emerged today. According to Gianluca Di Marzio, Leeds are ready to relaunch their attempts to sign the player. In December, the Philadelphia Union left back was heavily linked with a move to Leeds United and a move back to Europe earlier last season, right up until the January transfer window last year. It was talked about he'd 1 year left on his deal at that stage. I think he was looking at signing an extension. That didn't happen, nor did the move to Europe or to Leeds. It didn't materialise. Wagner has been incredibly impressive from a left back perspective in the MLS, and especially with Philadelphia Union over his 4 seasons there. He has clocked up 165 appearances for the Union and has had 36 goal involvements. That breaks down to 7 goals and 29 assists in 4 seasons from left back, which is impressive. Now, the context of the division needs to be taken into consideration as well, and the standard of some of the teams in the MLS. Not all of them. Some are very good, but some of them has to be taken into consideration. Wagner's contract does expire on the 31st of December, and a free option looks like it's likely to happen back to Europe. Wagner has himself said that he is keen on returning to Europe and wants to move away after his contract expires. Now, according to Di Marzio, they're claiming that Leeds are interested in the player after losing out on Luke Thomas earlier in the window and not managing to get Charlie Taylor, who decided to stay, or Burnley decided to keep him at the club, and he's now played a couple of games for them as well. It's unclear whether Leeds will make a move depending on how things go. Sam Byram has started the league very well in the left back position, but we know he can't play 2-3 games a week, so his minutes will be managed. Jamie Shackleton has filled in there quite well at times as well, and then there is the opportunity of Junior Firpo, who's making his recent comeback from his recent injury as well. So that is another area that could decide whether Leeds move for a left back, but it's unclear whether Daniel Farke or Leeds are happy with the options they've got there. Remember, Sam Byram is still a right back, and having him as an option to go into the right back position and help out there will be beneficial as well. Leeds, if they are to get Kai Wagner or make a move for Kai Wagner, will have competition in this space. West Ham United and Brentford are also said to be very interested in the player as well. And with a free transfer and with the kind of numbers that he delivered in the MLS, even if he delivers half of that in the Premier League or the Championship, he would be an excellent signing. He's a very, very good left back and a very attack-minded left back as well, would suit Daniel Farke's system really, really well. This is one to keep an eye on right up until the December threshold kicks in on the 31st. He could sign a pre-contract agreement with Leeds or West Ham or Brentford, as we're outside of his domestic league, but it would be interesting to see. This could just run all the way down to the contract being expired, and then a decision could be made. So keep an eye on that one. I'll keep you updated on it as soon as I hear any more information on that one. Moving on, let's talk about Premier League interest in Archie Gray. And according to Alan Nixon, Crystal Palace are showing a strong interest in the 17-year-old Leeds United central midfielder. Gray has just over 18 months remaining on the first professional contract that he signed at Leeds United. It should also be pointed out that when Archie did sign that contract, there was a limitation on the length of the contract due to the age of the player. The plan always seemed to be that Leeds would offer him a longer, more extended deal once he turned 18, currently still 17, so that can't happen just yet. There is an expectation that he will sign a longer deal and Leeds will extend this. You look at the start of the season that Archie has put in so far already, and that would give you all the indications that Leeds would be silly to not let this player let this player contract run down and just go and get it extended. Now, Gray has been a standout player for Daniel Farke's side so far this season, so Premier League interest and top tier interest was always likely to happen with Archie. He's very involved with Leeds in terms of his family are very involved with Leeds. His younger brother's at Leeds, Harry, as well. So there's a lineage there. We talked about the Grey Dynasty before. Whether he would be interested in a move to someone like Crystal Palace at this point in his career remains to be seen anyway, but Leeds will need to look at extending his contract once he turns 18. You hope that gets done sooner rather than later after his 18th birthday. Moving on, let's talk about some comments made by Larry Nance Jr. on the Cooligans podcast. He's been talking about the reaction of Leeds United fans to the takeover, to him getting involved, and their passions on Twitter. And Leeds fans can be called a lot of things, and passionate on Twitter is definitely one of those words that can be used pretty loosely. Speaking to the Cooligans on YouTube, Larry Nance has detailed the reaction and the passion of Leeds fans to the takeover once the takeover details started to emerge. Nance was one of the few people who made his involvement in this very public, very early on, with pictures of him walking around Ellen Road just before announcement, and then again just afterwards. He did send Twitter into a flurry. He also pointed out that the potential losses that you can get from getting involved in football, which we've talked about, if anyone watches Wrexham or listens to anyone talking about football, you know that in the division Leeds are in, and most teams in general, they make a loss, not a profit. So he said that it does put him off getting involved in it, and he said no, it didn't put him off, and it wouldn't put other people off in the future either. It depends on the kind of person that you are. On the Cooligans YouTube channel, he said that he wanted to get involved with football as quick as he possible. He said he would love to say that basketball is his first love, but it's not. It's in fact football. He said that it felt right, the time was right to get involved, and he thought that it would be cool to get involved in this, and wanted to get his foot in the door on the other side of football as quickly and as soon as he possibly could. He was also asked about relationship with LeBron James, and did he get advice from LeBron James before he invested, because obviously LeBron James invested in Liverpool through the Fenway Group. And he said, not really. He said, look, you kind of make your own mistakes in these things. You learn by your own moves that you make. You learn that way, if you're successful or otherwise. But he said once it became public knowledge that he was involved in the takeover due to his active nature on Twitter, which he points out as well, he said Leeds fans flooded in their droves to his Twitter account, and we did. I'm sorry, Larry, we did, and also included. I may have DM'd you a couple of times and apologise for that. But he said once it became clear that he was part owner, the conversations that he was having and the comments that were being directed his way were, buy a left back, get a centre back, and here's some recommendations of players you should get. I did tweet Larry to say, you're going to love this, you're also going to hate it at times, then you'll love it again, you'll probably hate it a bit again, and then you'll love it again, and that's just the nature of being a Leeds United fan. We'll drag you up and down and all around and make you feel all the different kinds of emotion that you can. But he's in now anyway, and he said that he will maintain his Twitter engagement and activity going forward, and you can catch him after matches on Twitter. Big shout out to Luke from the Or to Know Better podcast as well, who's done some stuff here, who's had a point with the guy as well in the Peacock when Larry put some money behind the bar. So doing all the right things, but he said feel free to tweet him after matches. You might get a reply, you might not. It's just the nature of the amount of tweets that he get, but he will maintain his Twitter engagement going forward. So good to see some, not a huge amount on the ground today, but as I said, just a reminder, the Michael Skubala interview will be available for everybody on the channel tomorrow morning, and will be available for members tonight if I can get it edited, and assuming it happens. Right now, Leeds have said it's happening, and I'm in the process of organising all of the bits that I need to send over to them. So fingers crossed it will happen. So yeah, first interview of the year. Fingers crossed, we'll see how that goes. That'll be in place of tomorrow's news video. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow for the interview, and I'll see you probably Thursday, Friday for more Leeds news. Have a great day. Talk to you then. See ya.